Okay, good morning. We're going to speak. The chief of the city of Doral, Hernan Organvides, is going to be speaking first, followed by Director Juan Perez. We're going to do English and Spanish, and then followed by questions and answers. Chief.
Good morning. Today we at approximately 1:30 a.m. we received a call of an active shooter at the shots fired at Doral Trump. Our officers responded with the assistance of Miami-Dade. They confronted the subject immediately upon arrival and exchanged fire with him. The subject was neutralized and taken into custody without further incident. At this time, the subject was transported to Kendall Regional. One of our officers received an injury, non-firearm related, and is in good condition at Baptist Hospital. And we had a joint effort with Miami-Dade Police Department and Doral Police Department. The incident took less than a couple minutes and was taken with no further issues. I'd like to introduce Director Perez. The investigation now has been taken over by FDLE and Miami-Dade County.
Good morning, and first and foremost, I want to be able to really recognize the efforts of the Doral Police Department and one of our Miami-Dade Police Department officers. What they did today was nothing short of heroic. This is still early on, it's still evolving, this investigation, but what occurred there today, what we know so far, these officers did not hesitate 1 second to engage this individual that was actively shooting in the lobby of the hotel. They risked their lives knowing that they had to get in there to save lives in that hotel. And that's exactly what they did, and they were able to neutralize this threat. Currently, Miami-Dade Police Department, we're going to be handling right now the investigation not involving the police shooting. We have our Homeland Security Bureau out here already, Secret Service is here, and the FBI is en route. So right now, we're taking the lead until we're told otherwise. If something else develops, that this becomes a federal case, then we'll hand it over. The state attorney's office is already here working with us. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is handling the police shooting here so far. So that's where we're at. What we know so far about this individual is that he was in there, he was yelling and spewing some information about President Trump, and that's what we know so far. And he had an American flag that he did drape over the counter. That all was, part of the investigation. We're going to take it from there and see what his real motives are and how far we get into that point, and then we'll have that discussion with the FBI and see how far this goes. We're not saying that this is terrorism. We're not saying any of that, but we're not discounting anything at this point. It's still early on in the investigation. We still have a lot of work to do with our partners, and as you can see, people have been getting there throughout the morning. So this is going to be a very active day for us here in Doral. So thank you so much.
Can you tell us was it gunfire exchange?
Well, let's do Spanish first, because we have live Spanish going on right now.
Buenos días. Hoy estamos aquí en la ciudad de Doral. Conmigo está el jefe de la policía, Hernan Organvides. Esta mañana, como a las 1:30 de la mañana, ellos tuvieron una llamada de un tirador activo que estaba en el hotel de Donald Trump aquí en el Doral. Entonces los oficiales de él y uno de los oficiales míos enseguida fueron a esa amenaza y pudieron parar al tirador ese. Hubo un intercambio de tiros entre los oficiales y el individuo. Él fue herido y está en el hospital ahora en Kendall Regional Hospital. Lo que estamos haciendo ahora es trabajando con el Departamento de Ley de la Florida, con el FBI y con Secret Service, que ya llegaron a determinar cuál es la causa del incidente este. Sabemos que el individuo dijo cosas contra el presidente y trajo una bandera americana y la tiró ahí en el lobby del hotel. pero en estos momentos todo eso estamos investigando y cuando tengamos más información le vamos a dar esa información como siempre. Lo que le pido es que tengan un poco de paciencia con nosotros, que sabemos que va a ser un día bastante largo. To your question, what was it again, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Exchange of gunfire with officers.
There was definitely an exchange of gunfire with the officers and the individual.
What kind of weapon did he have?
I'm not sure it's a handgun. I don't know what type of caliber, but it was a handgun. The individual was shot multiple times in the lower extremities, from what I understand. Again, this is preliminary and it may change. He is at the hospital with gunshot wounds.
Did he shoot anyone else? No.
So what we have so far is that there is one injured officer. It is not a gunshot wound. It is a injury, possible broken bones for one of the Doral officers sustained during the incident, and the individual that is shot. That is all we have as far as injuries.
Where was he shooting? Was he just shooting into the air? Was he shooting?
There was an exchange of gunfire, and the rest, is part of the investigation. We got a lot of video to review from the hotels.
Director Perez, can you clarify one thing there? Was the gunfire taking place before your officers arrived, or when the Doral officer and your officers came?
There was some gunfire prior to the officers arriving at the scene,
Okay.
and the fire alarm also was set off. And this was a definite attempt to lure officers into that lobby of the hotel. But right now we want to get more information and see what his real motive was.
And Director, obviously a lot of agencies here. Can you talk about, and I always ask you about this, the training that you all do for this kind of activity? Obviously your office and headquarters not too far from here in the city of Doral, and the coordination executed by these two officers this morning.
I'm going to use one word to describe the response between both agencies: seamless. That describes it all right there.
Director, can you clarify just to make sure, was he, the man was, when he was spewing out some things, was he saying anti-Trump rants? Do you know exactly what he was saying by chance?
It's too early right now. We don't have all that information.
Do you also know what type of gun this gentleman had?
It's a handgun, but I'm not sure the caliber. So that'll come out later on once we get more information.
So were there people in the lobby at the time that were hiding, like people behind the counter, and those are the ones that ended up calling police to respond to the scene?
There were several calls that we received from the lobby of the hotel.
Chief, can you also address that about your officers and your training with Miami-Dade and training for this kind of situation that was executed this morning?
Absolutely. We train constantly with same philosophy. We're out of the Region 14 Training Center. We always cooperate and collaborate with Miami-Dade, and our officers are trained in the same objectives.
So
Guys,
he
you
walked
said-
in from outside. He was not a guest or staying at the hotel.
We don't believe that he was a guest at the hotel, but again, we're looking into all that. But we strongly feel he was not staying at the hotel and he walked in.
Director Perez, you guys said there was an exchange between that officers from both agencies fired. Do you know how many officers in total fired their weapons?
It's early on right now. We're trying to make that determination. If I give you a number, I don't want it to change later on, so we'll wait a little while. We'll probably have another press conference just to wrap this up a little later, and we'll get all those facts for you.
Thank you, Director.
Operational hours at this point for the resort, the golf course, do we know if it'll be closed down for the rest of the day?
Yeah, as far as we will work closely, the city of Doral will work closely with the people from the resort, the management there, to establish, if we're going to stay closed, open the hours and all that. And as soon as we can, we will let anybody that was coming over here, we'll let them know what the situation is. Obviously, we're going to be very, mindful of the fact that this is a hotel, and we're going to work with the hotel to make sure that the guests are taken care of and have access and egress and ingress from the hotel.
Director or Chief, either of you can answer this. Were there any evacuations from the hotel? Did you have to take any people out for safety, or was this just in the lobby and then it was over?
It was in the lobby and throughout the main part of the hotel there, but there was no evacuations. Our officers were able to neutralize the threat immediately. Like I said, there was no hesitation on the part of the police officers arriving there and confronting the threat and eliminating the threat. And that's what we trained for, and it paid off. All that training that we do within agencies in Miami-Dade County, it paid off.
Can you
Director, just
tell
one
us a
more
little
thing.
bit more about, the injury? You said there was one officer that was injured, right? He was not shot, though, but he was injured. Can you tell us a little bit more
That's
about
correct. It was your guys.
how that happened?
I believe we don't know how it happened, but he has a wrist injury, possibly a broken wrist.
And just to make sure, we don't know the condition of the suspected shooter yet, right? Not yet. in stable
It should be in stable condition.
Any
Do you-
Spanish questions?
Do you guys know if he's local, the shooter? Anything about him? The suspect? Excuse me?
We have information on that, but we're not going to disclose any of that right now.
Okay, thank you.
Spanish questions?
Dígame, señor.
Perfecto. Ellos estaban hablando acerca del tipo de armas que la persona utilizó. ¿Lo podría hablar sobre eso? Y también sobre el disparo antes de que llegara la policía, también disparó después. ¿Cómo fue ese intercambio?
Sí, el sujeto estaba armado con una arma de fuego, una pistola semiautomática. No se sabe qué calibre era. Él tuvo un intercambio de fuego con los oficiales, pero también antes que los oficiales llegaran, él disparó su arma de fuego. También la alarma de fuego, también él aló la alarma de fuego en el edificio. Eso fue una de las pocas cosas que hizo, porque estaba haciendo muchos actos allá bastante violentos dentro del hotel.
¿Qué tipo de comentarios estaba haciendo cuando llegó al hotel?
Sabemos que era contra el presidente de los Estados Unidos, contra Donald Trump. Exactamente qué es lo que estaba diciendo, no sé.
¿Qué va a pasar con las personas que se están quedando en estos momentos en el hotel?
Bueno, nosotros vamos a trabajar con el hotel, el departamento de Doral, de la policía de Doral, y nosotros vamos a trabajar con el hotel para poder ayudar a los que están quedándose ahí, porque vamos a, tú sabes, tratar de ayudarlos a ellos también, mantener el hotel abierto lo más pronto posible para no afectarle las vidas de esas personas también.
Sabemos que el servicio secreto está aquí, hay otras unidades de agentes aquí. ¿Cuáles son todas las agencias que están involucradas en esta investigación?
Bueno, en estos momentos está el Departamento de Ley de la Florida, FDLE. El FBI viene también para acá para trabajar con el Homeland Security Bureau del departamento de nosotros, y está el Secret Service también, que son los que investigan casos que afectan al presidente. Ellos ya están aquí trabajando con nosotros. En algún tiempo, si esto se convierte en una investigación federal, nosotros les dejamos saber a ustedes que se convirtió en ese momento.
¿Se podría creer que algún acto de terrorismo?
Ahora en estos momentos muy pronto para saber eso, pero estamos investigando todo eso.
There's security at the hotel, at the resort. Were they tipped off to this guy before he got into the lobby and started causing trouble, or was this just...
I don't know at what point they were tipped off, but I know that there were several calls made from the hotel, from employees of the hotel. I'm not sure if they were the security or not, and one of the guests.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, guys.
We may do another little media brief approximately 9 a.m.
Nine.
Between 8 and 9, I'll let you guys know.
Thank you, Alvaro.